Media literacy is a bit of a buzzword, ain't it? I mean, I had first heard of this term when I was doom scrolling through my apps such as TikTok or Instagram and even X. But when it came down to finding a literal definition, I could only make educated guesses. But media literacy is important, and that's why properly defining it and figuring out what it might mean to you is the first step. Media literacy, as it is defined by W. James Potter, author of the book by the same name, is a set of perspectives that we actively use to expose ourselves to mass media to process and interpret the meaning of the messages we encounter. In other words, media literacy refers to how each of us in society interprets and understands the mass media we come into contact with on a daily basis. The true key to understanding media literacy and how it can benefit you is that it is a skill you could develop actively, like when you learn a new instrument or learn a new language. Thankfully, there are already many communication models and theories that have been created that serve to provide answers and further our media literacy as a collective. The limited effects model was created after extensive research on media and how it affected citizens. It actually turned out that there were no dramatic, predictable, or consistent effects of media messages on the public. The name of this model comes from the shift of focus to instead look at the limited effects certain media messages have on various individuals. So, instead of believing that media has a gripping effect on all those who consume it, the model assumes the opposite, or rather, that we have much more control than is unjustly assumed by the masses. As a sort of antithesis to the limited effects theory, there is the agenda setting theory. Rather than outright rejecting the effects of political campaigns and media in general, the agenda setting theory gives another explanation that may appeal to those who are skeptical of the media. It states that issues portrayed as important in the news media become important to the public. Media can show and tell people what is relevant, not necessarily what they actively think about. But even so, you still cannot force people to care for a story or product that they have already decided to not care about. Lastly, the uses and gratifications theory directly states that audience members are, in fact, active receivers of the information that they so choose. We have full autonomy over our actions and consciously choose them over other options, specifically depending on how gratifying it is to us depending on our personal beliefs and what we each may prioritize.
So basically,
we would not consume a certain type of media if we do not perceive gratification from it from the start. Like how you would choose to watch a show you know you like over a new one that you know nothing about. To briefly summarize what I went over, I first defined media literacy and how it's basically a skill that can be honed. Then I went into further detail about certain theories and models that can help us further analyze the mass media that we are constantly surrounded by and consuming in our daily lives. We should all strive to better our media literacy, whether it's from other people or from our own judgments. Thanks for watching!